Yourself. It is Wednesday afternoon in Brooklyn, New York, home of the Eastern Conference frontrunner Nets. I am Joel Walkowski. I'm here for the Props Network, and we're betting on the NBA today, as we do every single day. And I'm qualified because not only am I the professional gambler, only fella out here picking games with roast jokes 5 years running. Yeah, I maybe wrote some for Jeff Ross back in the day. It used to be a cool achievement then. Yeah, you want to see that writing credit get me tooed. But then again, I am also qualified because I am a New York City street ball legend. I was out there last night, 32 degrees, working on the mid-range. Joseph Nurkic. He is roaming the streets of Greenpoint. Okay, so we were off yesterday. There were only 2 games on the NBA's schedule. They were out in the Mountain West. And, just as a general rule of thumb, I think the Utah Jazz are the undervalued team in the NBA season. They were favored by 6 in the open against the Pelicans yesterday. Pelicans coached by Stan Van Gundy, who last got it done in 2009, so maybe the league's changed a little bit too much for him. So in that one, Jazz cruised to a victory, and then, I think moving forward, Jazz have the 3rd best record in the West. You might want to see that Vegas isn't treating them like the 3rd best team in the West, so maybe we can take advantage of it. So today, there is a lot of really great stuff across the slate. Maybe I could have thrown out probably 7 bets here if I wanted to. I narrowed it down to my favorite 3. There was some weirdness across the boards, but we can get into that. So my first pick, we have a really fun matchup between the Toronto Raptors, the Tampa Bay Raptors and the Miami Heat. We got a Florida face-off tonight. And, Miami, Jimmy Butler still has COVID protocol. Avery Bradley does as well. Tyler Hero may or may not be playing. And in this game, the Raptors, let's pull up the props. Hello, Sam. We got a little visit from our friend there.
Oh, sorry, I totally photobombed your podcast. I'm sorry. I won't let it happen again, Mr. Pro Gambler. I promise.
No, it's all right. It's just a little treat. He just comes out and says hello. Okay.
Hey, what up? Well, nice to see you. You're doing great.
Yeah, we're having fun. And this one, you see the money, it is going on to the Raptors for good reason. Look at the starting lineups for this one. Maybe Adebayo can carry the game for this, but on the whole, I think that Toronto's got a little bit of a deeper rotation here. I think that their guards are going to be able to accomplish whatever they want. And recently, Toronto's actually made an emphasis in practice and in recent matchups of really trying to focus on working against zones offensively. I know a lot of the shooting hasn't been as expected. A lot of things in Toronto haven't been as expected, but they're in Tampa, so that's not as expected. So I'm going to give them a pass on that. But nonetheless, the Raptors, they've been working against the zones. Last year, Eric Spoelstra's Nets teams, they trotted out more zone defenses than any other team in the NBA. And without Butler, while still recovering from the loss of Jay Crowder, who likes to be a sort of middle linebacker for NBA defense, in my estimation, I think we're going to see a lot of zone from Miami. And if this, goes along with Toronto's recent point of emphasis, I like the Raptors here. Tampa Bay Raptors. It's going to be so awkward when Fred VanVleet hits up Tom Brady and tells him how to win a championship. Okay, that was a fun little pick there. That was a fun little pick. Well, I've got my first on the year for the NBA bets. I can't believe it. We haven't done one yet. I like an over-under tonight. I'm going to make Sam pull up a different tab of the Props Network future tool. But, if he does it live, he will demonstrate how easy it is to use our Props Network interface. So he pulls it up, changes it to over-under, and then you see the lines displayed. And in this instance, the over-under is 218.5. And why do we like that? Because the pace of play is not very high in this one, is it, friends? Okay, so we have the Pacers. I'm not going to address the Karis LeVert thing. That's probably personal. So, get well soon. I'll leave it at that. But with no Oladipo, more of an emphasis for this Indiana offense will reasonably be upon Malcolm Brogdon and Mr. Dominata Sabonis. And okay, I'm talking Mavericks and Indiana Pacers tipping off today at 7:00. I was so excited about this under. I didn't even mention what game it was. So yeah, it's Mavericks and Pacers, and the Mavericks, they run a lot of half court. Luka is an ISO ball phenomenon, and they're still working back Porzingis, though he has had some good outings. But on the other side, I think the increased usage from Brogdon and Sabonis is really going to just emphasize the half-court elements. And that being said, this is a pretty high under. 218.5, that skews pretty high. And for teams that are adjusting, for teams where I think the baseline is a pretty slow pace anyway, I really love this under here. And, just looking around, I think the whales are on this one tonight. So if you think you're in the same direction as the whales, you might want to throw down. You want to feel confident. You want to communicate with the whales. Unrelated, I did kill a whale when I was 11 years old, and I still feel guilty about it. That is a true story. And, some things, they're better if you don't build up onto them. But, a lot of things are getting built onto, and the Props Network website, the Props Network media empire is one of those. And yes, I did that segue into an ad read. Yes, I did. But, I love our site. I'm using our site more and more. I'm watching our videos on YouTube more and more. Smash that subscribe button. So I like the site because not only can you use our futures tool, you can use not only can you use the line comparison tool, you can tabulate this for lines, overs, unders, and then we also have this same beautiful interface for all sorts of futures. You can change this on your state. And if you are in a state with legal gambling, we can hook you up with some of the best promos in the business. Like, hey, if you like BetMGM, and I do, official sportsbook of Jamie Foxx and the Detroit Lions, they will match your deposit with code WALKON20. Turn more towards the camera. I'm staring into the camera. I'm making love to the camera, baby. Let's do it. Okay, so what else we got going on here tonight? Well, there's a few things I like in the 10 o'clock slot. I was in between two of them, but I decided to go with the Sacramento Kings covering a 10.5 point spread at home against the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers are probably the best team in basketball right now. Paul George has been playing up to whatever nickname he gave himself. Maybe Tyronn Lue is actually a really shrewd coaching hire for them. And, they're really rolling. But the issue with the Clippers thus far this season has been perimeter defense. And I really like the 3-guard rotation from the Sacramento Kings. Fox, I'm kind of flabbergasted that he has lived up to his max contract. I love him. I didn't believe he needed to get paid all that money, but he's acting like it. He had a couple nice highlights. So with De'Aaron Fox has like the hub of this team, he's been supported really nicely with Hield and Halliburton, and it's kind of like a pretty difficult complement of guards for a team to keep track of. And I just don't know if Patrick Beverley and Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard are really going to be up to the task tonight. Now, granted, the Clippers will probably play this game, win this game, but over the past few weeks, the Kings have been a pretty competent basketball team, and I totally expect them to keep it within 10.5 points at home this evening. They've been playing well, and I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to Mavericks and Pacers, just two games where like every participant is really locking in on their identity. And like, now's the time where we're going to finally figure out this season. Cause like they had me start in, right after Christmas when the season tipped off here, but now we're getting a feel for these teams, a feel for these identities. Now let's have some fun here. One thing I noticed tonight, I've been looking at the handles quite a bit, and the Detroit Pistons are playing the Atlanta Hawks, sans Derrick Rose, and I think potentially sans Blake Griffin tonight in Atlanta. Now, Atlanta, they're pretty decimated with injury. Bogdanovich is now injured, and they're still missing Chris Dunn and Rondo, but for whatever reason, I think Atlanta's a better team, but Detroit's a 5-point dog. All the money is on the Pistons here. There's like maybe 30% of the bets are on Detroit, 70% of the money. And as a Pistons fan, that makes no sense whatsoever. Now, if any of you guys are hanging out with me, if any of you are, similarly bored at home, looking to throw down on some NBA action, I will hang out here. I will answer any queries, comments, inquiries. If you want to know my shoe size, my astrological sign, my thoughts on SpursWarriors, I am here to wheel and deal. And let's look at this. So we do have the caveat. If we think we're going to win, and I feel pretty good about this night, I like to take a 10 o'clock bet that I'm really zeroing in on. And I think the over-under in SpursWarriors 228.5 really looks good to me this evening. I think I might even want to maybe take that over, maybe take the Spurs. But, Clippers or Kings? Kings all day. That spread is huge. 10.5 points at home. The Kings have been playing well lately, and there's no Lou Williams for the Clippers, so they're not going to really have that boost of winning the second unit to like really help them cover a 10.5. So yeah, I like the Kings there. They've been playing well, and hopefully we get some more cool De'Aaron Fox highlights. I feel bad for the Kings, man. I've been listening to that whistleblower Tim Donaghy podcast. They got screwed. They probably should have won the 2002 NBA championship, and hopefully they'll get one. Any other questions coming through for the NBA bet slate? All right, so let's sum it up. 7 o'clock, we like the under in Mavericks Pacers 218.5. We like the Tampa Bay Raptors hosting the Miami Heat. We like that. And we have a question from Jimmer Fredette. Is this the real Jimmer Fredette? Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be a treat? Who's going to have a better career, Jimmer Fredette or Zach Wilson? That'll be fun. He's asking Harden over 8.5 assists, even with Kyrie back. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I think that Harden is probably a top distributor in this league. I think the way he's used in that offense is going to kind of be like that old school Nash role on steroids. And it kind of seems like he'll be the hub. Durant will be the weapon. And if they can get Kyrie Irving to embrace this 6-man role, that's their best outlook. But yeah, I think Harden, like, just kind of blindly, you asked me how many assists he's going to get on a given night. I said, yeah, over 10, because 8.5, he got 12 the other night, if I'm not mistaken. So you mean to tell me that Kyrie Irving's return is going to cost him 3.5 assists off that? I don't know about that. That seems pretty wild to me. So yeah, I like the Harden over assist there. And I hope you come back there. Sammy, we can talk about the futures. I talked about futures two days ago. I mean, I still like the 76ers as my futures. I still like the Lakers. I feel like that's the safest investment this side of Warren Buffett. But yeah, if you're not messing around in specs, I think the best way to increase your portfolio 2 to 3 times is a Lakers championship future. So you see there, it's plus 250 at DraftKings, plus 275 at PointsBet, and plus 250 at BetMGM. And Vucevic over 24 and a half points or 11 and a half rebounds. All right, Gabriel Moreau, wait, where are you talking to us from today? Okay, so we have Magic. They're playing the Timberwolves. Magic are 6-8. We have, I believe, Karl Anthony Towns is still out with COVID protocol. And yeah, I'm going to go with over for Vucevic on both of these here. I think that he's a type of guy who can really dominate any game from a statistic just because, they don't really make basketball players like him anymore. And, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they do not take the big position seriously whatsoever. I mean, if they did, they would have taken James Wiseman first overall, but they didn't do that. They took Anthony Edwards because Karl Anthony Towns is their big man, and Karl Anthony Towns is not a big man. He's a 3-point shooter, doesn't box out. So yeah, we're dealing with Towns' backup. And I mean, I know it's been Gorgie Ding for a few years. I don't know who's getting those backup minutes these days, but yeah, it's going to be the Vucevic show. I like those quite a bit. And yeah, I kind of like them. No, I'm not going to pick that at all right there. But yeah, without Fultz, there's going to be only one option for this offense, and it's Vucevic. I love that. So yeah, everything you guys are coming with me, bringing to me today, I like these overs. I think it's such a good slate. It's my favorite slate in quite a bit. Unfortunately, I know my beautiful fiance is going to come home at around 8:30 right when I get off work, and she says she wants to wallpaper the living room today. That's not a weeknight activity. Get out of here. We're going to go watch Kevin Durant pretend to like Kyrie Irving while Andre Drummond puts up some empty stats. That's what we're doing this evening. Get this wallpaper out of here. But yeah, I think the Vucevic over will be pretty good. So I will put it out there. Any last call, last questions, put your wagers in. Let's vet them. And if you want to talk statistical models, we can do that. And like gamblers do that. I just built my first model. I am having a good time with it. And it informs some of these picks today. So I am 25-18 on the year, which is well over the 56% threshold that professional gamblers need to hit. And I think we're going to be even more bullish moving forward. And if you want to be more bullish about your portfolio, check the propsnetwork.com, smash subscribe on the Props Network YouTube, because we got line comparisons. We got analysis that's rife with jokes and goofballs and just having a general good time. And you know what? We have not one, not two, not three, not four, but five-time Emmy winner Jamoke Davis in the fold, doing his wonderful Just for Sports show every Monday, Thursday. And I'm going to be back here tomorrow, and I will be doing the NBA props, and I'll be back Friday doing the NBA props, 2 p.m. both days. And then Friday morning, I will be doing the NFL props drop for the championship weekend with my homie, Steve Clark, the Draymond Green of New York City comedy basketball. So yeah, if you are wondering, the little figures behind me, I got a Barry Sanders, I got a Kelvin Johnson, and you know what? That's a painting of my own shirtless torso. So we got some pretty cool stuff going on here. So yeah, I'm excited about these bets. I'm excited to hang out with you guys tomorrow. Until then, for the Props Network, this is Joel Walkowski walking on.